A song rises over the desert. With lanterns bright to pierce the dark, we mark our path, leave not a mark. For in these depths where danger lies, each step we take may be our prize. The Ironhead Prospectors make their living mining for valuables in the ash wastes of Necromunda. Near Acropolis, they caravan to border sectors of the Hive to trade. The recent scourge on Acropolis is unknown to them, nor would they care if that weren't so. Pike, descendant from a family of chartermasters, makes his next visit to Acropolis, with the local populace charging more and giving a cut of the proceeds to Slaughterhouse. Pike decided it was time to cut out the middleman. It's coming up next as MGM presents Ashes of Acropolis.
Alright everyone, welcome back to MGM, great place for casual gaming. Today we have the debut game for the Ironhead Prospectors as they match up with the Corpse Grinder cult. Pike's Pioneers were granted 1,250 credits and are led by Pike, a Charter Master with Ironhead Stub Gun and Power Fist. He has Iron Jaw as his skill. Jarl and Orwin are Drill Masters. Jarl carries an Ironhead Heavy Stubber with Trick Shot. Orwin carries an Ironhead Melt-A-Gun with Hip Shooting. All have mesh armor. They have a Drillkin Specialist with Ironhead Bolt Gun. Grom and Ullman are Drillkin. Grom has an Ironhead Autogun and Ullman has an Ironhead Stub Gun. They also have a Brute VED 0101 with Light Carapace, Heavy Flamer, Power Claw, and Seismic Crusher. The Corpse Grinders add a lot of meat to their roster. They use their 250 credit boost to add an additional Initiate and 2 Skinners. The Butcher Diablo takes an advancement to increase his movement by 1. Jurgen adds smoke grenades to his profile. And today's scenario is Downtown Dust Up, a classic game where crews are D3+4, tactics cards will be custom 2 with Underdog, deployment will be alternating, and fighters can be placed anywhere on the battlefield at least 6 inches from an already deployed fighter. We'll then place D6+6 Hive Dwellers anywhere on the board at least 6 inches from the board edges. These Hive Dwellers will have a profile and will react to shooting and fight actions within certain distances. They will also have a move mechanic in the end phase. The battle will end when only one gang has fighters remaining. If at least half of the Hivers have been taken out of action or are broken, the game will be a draw. And we don't particularly care for draws here, so we'll have to find a creative way to award the game to someone and try to avoid that as much as possible. For tactics, the Ironhead take Vengeance of the Ironhead and Finest Craftsmanship. The Corpse Grinders take their version of Blood Surge and Infamous Butcher. They also get Blessed by Death, Savage Brutality, the Red Hunt, and Bountiful Feast through Underdog. Speaking of Underdog, the Corpse Grinders rolled up for 5 fighters totaling 640 credits. Diablo, Bale, Asmodan, Jurgen, and Craven will take the field. The Prospectors rolled up for a starting roster of 6 fighters. Everyone will participate except for the Chartermaster Pike. We rolled up for the 12 Hivers on the board, so this one will hopefully be pretty interesting. As always, it's our pleasure to have you on board. If you like the content, be sure to leave us a thumbs up. I look forward to reading your comments as always below. We are fighting on a skirmish mat today. For any links or any questions about anything that we use, you can see the link down below, and that should take you to the right place. Again, thanks so much. Turn 1 is coming up next. Now for deployment here, the Corpse Grinders dropped first, and a Skinner went into the building in the center to give him access to the majority of the board. He was counter-deployed by the Prospectors, who then dropped their Cutter and Butcher on the same side to try to box him in and take him out. The Hivers were placed in the way to almost be a blocking mechanic. We are playing that you can't move through them. And the Prospectors will win turn 1. Ullman, the Drillkin, is going to use both of his actions to move. The Corpse Grinders did have 2 Initiates that infiltrated onto the board. And with their first move, Asmodan is going to use both of his actions to move as he is staring down an Ironhead Bolt Gun. Jarl, the Drill Master, deployed in such a way that he can see the Cutter Bale, and he is going to target him with his Ironhead Heavy Stubber. His mask is terrifying, so a 6-up willpower check is needed. It's failed. Bale then passes an initiative check and scoots down the ladder. The Exo Driller announces a charge into this poor Hiver here, looking to clear him out of the way. He's going to get 2 base attacks plus 1 for the charge. He'll land 2 hits on his weapon skill of 4 with strength a lot and takes the Hiver out. On the other side of the board, Craven, who is marked for Infamous Butcher at the beginning of this game, gaining the Fearsome skill, moves into a position and fires his auto pistol at Ullman. The shot does miss, and ammo check is required and failed, and the gun jams up. And with the cracks of the pistol within 12 inches, it will cause noise. This Hiver will become broken on a 5. Rick Grimes will do nothing on a 4. One of these Hivers up top, also just in range, will do nothing on a 3. Up top, Grom repositions to get the Initiate in the open with no cover. He fires on his ballistic skill of 4, rapid fire 2, but just misses. The shot causes a bit of mayhem among the Hivers, and the one closest to him does roll up a 2, so it will take a shot at the nearest fighter, which is going to be Grom. Hiver has a ballistic skill of 5, Grom getting some cover here, but the shot misses. Across the way, another Hiver is going to become broken. Up top, we roll from left to right, and the result we get is broken, broken, and take a shot. The Hiver fires a stub gun at Grom as he's the closest fighter that they can see, but they do miss. We also have another Hiver that is going to target Orin with his Melt-A-Gun. He does miss as well. While this is going on, the Butcher decides to use both of his moves to go the other way, trying to get away from some of these Hivers. And then we've got Orin with his Melt-A-Gun, using both of his actions to move. As we flip back to the Corpse Grinders, Jurgen is going to come up and use his second action to open the door, daring Thornton to take a shot at him. Unfortunately, the Hivers are near that break point to cause a draw for the game, so he is going to move just enough to where it's going to be a challenging charge for Azmodan potentially out of range, or for Jurgen to make it into contact on the next turn. So with 1 Hiver taken down and 3 more broken, we now stand at 4. We'll see if any of these recover before we actually count them in the end phase. But you can see how the draw mechanic works in this game. If you have half the Hivers either out of action or broken, then it's a draw. We're playing the scenario where we really want our shots to count and not just wiping every Hiver off the board and killing each other. First we'll see who rallies, needing an 8 or better. If the first fails, he'll stay broken. Up top we roll for another Hiver that will successfully recover, and then rolling from left to right here we get 2 recoveries up top. Priority rolls go to the Corpse Grinders, and immediately Jurgen is going to move forward, and he's going to fire an auto pistol. The shot misses even at short range. The Hiver beside him reacts and decides to take a shot. With a ballistic skill of 5, this should be a hit at short range, but we did count it as a miss. We roll up for the 3 Hivers on the side. The one on the left is going to do nothing. The one in the center will become broken, and the one on the right will become broken. We continue to roll for other affected Hivers. One will become broken here. This gentleman is going to take a shot at the closest fighter. He does miss, however. We roll up for 2 more Hivers. One will do nothing, the other will become broken, and we gear up for the Prospector's first activation of the turn. Thornton, with his Ironhead bolt gun, stares down the Initiate and fires rapid fire 2 and makes a hit. With 3s required to wound, 3 are successful. Armor saves will be failed, and a number of injury dice are rolled out. He's taken out of action. As a house rule, we only roll once on the lasting injury table, resulting in a 25. Hivers that aren't broken will have a chance to react within 12 inches. The first one is going to take a shot targeting Thornton, and the shot is going to miss. Another Hiver will become broken. As we roll for other Hivers, we do see another become broken, and one more is going to take a shot at the closest eligible fighter. It does miss. Even a Hiver at the back of the board reacted to a shot and fires, but he does not hit. With the loss of Jurgen, Azmodan announces a charge into Ullman. Needs to maximize his move, however, rolls up a 2, and he is going to check up just short. The Prospectors react with Orin the Drill Master. He has a Ironhead Melt-A-Gun and hip shooting. He moves up into place and he strikes Azmodan in the back with a well-timed shot. Before declaring the shot, Finest Craftsmanship was played, which is a tactics card allowing them to re-roll a hit or wound. The shot easily wounds, and we go straight to injury dice here. It is a 54. While that results in multiple injuries, a nearby Hiver is triggered, he will do nothing. As we move back to the Corpse Grinders, Craven declares a charge, but he also checks up short. This is a charge that he could have made as well. This allows Ullman to be up close, firing his Ironhead Stub Gun, which hits. Craven does go down pinned, and there will be no wound. With Ullman's second action, he is just going to move back, trying to put some more distance between him and the Grinders. A local inhabitant does become broken from hearing the shot. We then see Diablo moving forward, trying to get into charge range. Grom will react by passing a 6-up willpower check, aims with his Ironhead autogun, and fires, landing a hit. Blood Surge will be played. The fighter opts to not be pinned and gets a simple move. The aim offsets cover, so he needs 4s. We did miss Rapid Fire 2 here, so he just gets 2 hits, and he needs 5s to wound. He does get 1. The save is failed, and Diablo ends up taking a wound. Nearby Hivers that aren't broken react to the shot, do nothing. Bale is then going to move forward and use his second action to open the door. From across the board, Jarl targets Diablo, passes a 6-up willpower check, and fires with his Ironhead Heavy Stubber. Rapid Fire 3 sinks 5 shots into him. Diablo takes a 4+ initiative check, which fails, so he will fall. He does need 4s to wound here. The result is 2 wounds. He does have a 6-up save with his Butcher's Mask, and that will block 1. We also roll for the fall. That would wound on 5s as well, as he has toughness 4. That does a wound, so he will attempt to save that, which he does. He is reduced to 0 wounds, however. An injury die comes out. It is a flesh wound. The Prospectors command the rest of the activations, and the Exo Driller is going to target him with his Heavy Flamer and unleash that. It is a Strength 5, AP 2, 1 damage weapon. With a 3 needed to wound, it is successful, and this will give him a 6-up save with his Butcher's Mask as it negates any AP. He does take his second flesh wound. We roll a 4+ blaze, which is good, so Diablo is set on fire. As we work to the end phase, the Grinders take a bottle check, but they actually pass. They are voluntarily going to flee the battlefield here, as there's just no way that they can counterpunch. The amount of Hivers, however, that needed to recover did not. So as it stands right now, this game would technically be a draw, as half or more of the Hivers are either out of action or broken. Since we aren't too keen on draws here, Pike has entered the battlefield and has issued a challenge to the Butcher Diablo in one-on-one combat. Fighters and local inhabitants gather around to watch, and the stakes are pretty simple. If the Corpse Grinders win, this game will be a draw. If the Prospectors win, they will take the victory. As we move into sudden death, these fighters are a little over 12 inches away from each other, and the Corpse Grinders win first. Diablo moves forward, keep in mind that he can move a lot faster than the Chartermaster. Pike moves forward, passes a willpower check, and fires his stub gun, and while he does land a hit, an ammo check is required. That is passed. We have restored all fighters to their full complement of wounds. There's no wound. With the next roll-off, there is a tie, and Pike charges into Diablo, who stands to meet him. Pike wields an Ironhead Power Fist and Ironhead Stub Gun. He passes a willpower check on a 5+ and can attack. With 2 attacks, +1 for the charge, +1 for his sidearm, he lands all hits on a weapon skill of 3. Since a 6 to hit was rolled, we're going to roll for power separately, as this would negate any kind of save. It does not wound, however. We then roll the rest, needing 3s. There's 2 wounds with the Power Fist. No wounds from the Ironhead Stub Gun. There's a 6-up save, and Diablo fails 1 from the Power Fist. He takes 2 damage, and he goes down to 0 wounds. An injury die is rolled out, and it is a serious injury. So Pike has come onto the board and secured a victory for his Pioneers. As fighters and hivers cheer him on, Pike just simply lowers his head and moves back to his cargo like nothing had happened. Okay, we're going to jump right into the postgame on this one, and holy cow, the Ironhead Prospectors are really good. All of the Ironhead weapons have rapid fire, and in some cases rapid fire 2 and 3. They have a melt-a-gun that they can bring. It's just really deadly. This is my first go out with them, but just kind of in looking at what they were bringing to the table versus what the Corpse Grinders had, I knew that this was going to be a struggle from start to finish for the Corpse Grinders. Now, I would have loved to just take all the Corpse Grinders and throw them at each other, but unfortunately in this game they did roll up for just 5 fighters, while the Prospectors rolled up for 6. They were at a massive disadvantage. You could see the point difference in the starting crews, but unfortunately that is just the game of Necromunda. If you play Necromunda for fun like we do, then you totally understand that it is simply not a very balanced game, especially in a campaign setting when your starting crews can be very off balance. I think there was a critical mistake very early on when Bale, I understand why my son made that move to get him out of the shooting range, but he was pretty much out of the entire game from doing that. But with the way that we played and deployed the hivers, what really were you going to do? Because if you take too many hivers out or they break, then the game is going to result in a draw. And that was actually the result of this game. It would have been a draw, but we decided to let Pike go one-on-one with Diablo, and man, did he put on a show with his Power Fist. And for the MVP, it will go to Pike, as he is the one responsible for giving the Prospectors a victory today instead of a draw. They will get 50 credits for their outing today and 1 reputation. They had no injuries to report. The Corpse Grinders, we are not going to count Diablo's injury. They were able to scoot off the board. Jurgen was found out cold. Asmodan got multiple injuries, partially deafened, convalescence, and an eye injury. They will get out of here with 25 credits and actually pretty limited on their injuries. I hope you enjoyed this game of Necromunda. Can't wait to do another one here in the near future. The Prospectors are officially in the game and on the table. Look forward to seeing more of what they can do in the future. I think they are going to be really deadly and hard to get off the table. Also would like to give a massive thank you to the Supporters Club. Your names are on the screen now. Really do appreciate your support. I do not ask for it. It's by no means necessary. You just watched the video this far, give us a like. You've done more than enough to support the channel, so thank you so much for being here. If you'd like any information on that, links will be down in the description below, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.